Hello friends, today we are going to learn how to make mutton Shami kebab. This video is going to be in three parts. First, because this is a long process, that's why it's called Shami kebab. It's a delicacy in kebabs. So the first step is to cook the meat. Now here, if you notice, I have taken, this is called as the pasanda meat. If you go to the butcher's shop and you say you want pasanda, he'll give you pasanda, or you can take fajita meat. Now the reason I take such slabs of meat is to reduce the water content. We don't want water to be in the kebab. And now I've just washed it and I've just left it, no water added, okay, to this. Now to this meat, this is about 3 pounds of meat. You can take beef or mutton. I am adding soaked chana dal. So this is a Pyrex bowl. I have soaked the chana dal. I'm just going to put soaked chana dal to this. Now remember, mutton leaves water, so there should be no water to this. In this, I'm adding sliced ginger. All this is going to be ground after I pressure cook it for about 2 whistles. This is the garlic I'm going to add. Now chilies, green chilies, you can add based on how much spicy you want it to be. Now this green chilies as well as the black pepper, I'm going to add some whole garam masalas to this. This is black pepper. This will also increase the spice, so you can take a, depending on how much spice would you like, you can add. I'm adding about 3 teaspoons here. I'll add a teaspoon of cardamom. I'll add a teaspoon of shah jeera or black jeera that they call it. Then some star anise seeds. You can, right there. These are all going to be ground, remember that. They're all going to be soft, about 2 teaspoons. Then a little of, these is called javitri. I don't know what they are called in English. So I have these, it's called fool, some kind of fool. Then this is black elaichi, black cardamom. I'm going to put about 3 to 5 pieces of it, so 5 pieces. And then I put cinnamon sticks. Now cinnamon sticks, I'm going to take a good quantity. So many cinnamon sticks. And then 3 cloves or 3 or 4 cloves. And that is it. So that's all the akka garam masala that you add to because the flavor is of the garam masala. There's no other masala in this kebab. That's it. That's the masala. Now to this I'm going to add, my mom usually said that for meat you should add some fennel seeds. So I'm going to add a little bit of fennel seeds. 1 teaspoon you can say. It just enhances the color, the flavor of meat. This is about 1 teaspoon. Okay, so I've added 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds. And then some salt to go with it. So salt, I think I'm going to give you a measure for salt. So to this I would add, you can taste the salt later, because as I told you, there are 3 parts to this kebab. So this is 1 teaspoon and 3 teaspoons. I'm adding 3 teaspoons of salt to it. Oh, and I'm going to add some jeera, like the safed jeera, big jeera, very little. Maybe 1 teaspoon. And that's about it. Now after this, as I told you, there's no water. It's just the meat has been just washed. There's no water. I'm going to close it and I'm going to pressure cook this on medium flame for 3 to 4 whistles. And that's medium flame. Wait for part 2 of this video. So part 2 of Shami kebab. I had put my mix in the cooker, and now I'm going to open it and show it to you. I let it dry completely. Okay, complete drying of this. So if you notice that there is very little water. Now I had opened it after 4 whistles and I saw there was too much water. Now I might take this off because I do not want too much water. You can use this for, this is like a stock, or you can dry it if you want in the cooker. But I'll just take it out and then I'll use it later.
So earlier you had said 2 whistles, but now you said you took it for 4 whistles. So why did you have to take 4 whistles?
Because the water hadn't dried. So then I again put it back for 2 more whistles. Now if you notice, what I'm doing is, since this was slabs of meat, I'm just going to crush it by hand. And then I'm going to just put it in the food processor. I have this big food processor. I'm going to put, now if you don't have a food processor, use any processor that you have. Now I remember my mom used to use the stone in order to grind this. So for me, I'm lucky. I can just put it all in this processor, and I have a big one, so I can just put the entire thing. Let me show you how much I have used the food processor. This is how fine the meat has to be ground. Okay, if you see, do you see this? This is how fine the meat has to be ground. And this food processor of mine is really awesome. It really helps me grind to the required or desired consistency. Okay, now what I'll do is, after this, now if you remember when I showed you my cooker with all the ingredients, there was no oil in it. That is why I love these kebabs, because it's all I'm going to do is to this, as I told you, there's no other masala. So to this I'm going to add some pudina. Okay, I'm going to cut some pudina. I'm going to cut cilantro and some red onions. I'm going to chop some red onions. So these are the red onions I'm going to chop, and I'm going to beat 1 egg. After I put this, beat 1 egg, put it in this, and then mix it up nicely and make my kebabs. So wait for it. I'm quickly going to do it for the onion. Now in the same thing, what I do is I put my cilantro, and then I'm going to put, these are mint leaves from my garden. I'm using the pulse option for this. Okay, this is how much I want the onions to be. Into this mix, I'm going to add an egg.
But you can put a normal.
I add the egg.
So what will happen if there are 2 eggs added? What will
Nothing
improve?
is going to happen. I add little egg. I add just 1 egg just so that it binds. The chana dal or the chickpeas that I added, the split chickpeas, also helps in binding the meat. So now I'm going to mix and dry. when I make the kebabs, I make it all the way and then I freeze them if all of them are not over. So every time I'm hungry, every time my son Roshan is hungry, he just puts it on the pan and then makes a sandwich or a roll, whatever. So it's very healthy snack. So now what I do is I take a pan, very little oil in the pan. And then in the pan, but before that I will make the kebabs. You can see they're not even sticking to my hands anymore. I bind them, I flatten them. It depends on what size you want. This is the size I usually make because it goes well between pieces of two bun. And then with very little oil, shallow fry them. And you're done. So do you see I have added very little oil to the pan, and I wanted to show you till what level do I fry it. So this is how much I fry. And remember, the meat is already cooked, so you don't have to really wait till everything gets cooked. It's already cooked. It just needs a little bit of frying. So I'm just turning each kebab over, and then I will wait the same time and then do some more kebabs. Now with that quantity, if you see there are 11 kebabs here, I have 11 more over here, and then I will get about 6 more here. So it's basically 28 to 29 kebabs in 3 pounds of meat. Bye.